So, hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stay Ahead with Stay Busy. Today we have Dhruv Rungta, the co-founder of Slashy AI. Now he had been doing his CSE from Georgia Tech. Now basically he's on leave. We will talk more about it why he's on leave, and he has been funded by Y Combinator. I mean the last batch only, SY25, and basically he's creating so much waves in the world of AI right now, AI powered productivity, that it is getting so much traction that I could not control myself from getting him to the podcast. So thank you for coming in, Dhruv, and yeah.
Yeah, awesome, Sarthak. Thanks so much for having me. Really excited to be here. Yeah, as I said, kind of building Slashy called ChatGPT with hands. And before this, I was studying computer science and Georgia Tech. I also ended a couple of pieces before that, such as Croc and Crocodile. But really excited to be here and talking about this stuff.
I mean, we will get into Slashy more, but Dhruv, we all want to know like how Slashy. And I mean, you are young and you look young also. So basically, I mean, from doing CSE in Georgia Tech, doing internships in Crocodile, Croc, and Honeywell. So how did you navigate your way through Slashy? Please tell us more about that.
Yeah, I was always interested in startups. I did a couple of hackathons back in college, so I think that really kind of encouraged me to start building more. Then I met my co-founders, Franchuli and Harsha, at Georgia Tech itself, and we started kind of building. We built a couple of different ideas before we eventually landed on, we called it Dash originally, but this fundamental idea of ChatGPT with hands, which is like a defining general agent that connects you, say, your Gmail, your calendar, and more, and it can execute actions across them. And that's where the hands essentially comes from. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, tell us more about your how you met your co-founders. I mean, it's what I saw on LinkedIn, and is that there's a very good bonding among you guys. I mean, the way you present your new features on LinkedIn is pretty unique. I mean, tell me more about that. How is that growing up?
yeah. So I met Pranjali and Harsha at Georgia Tech. I think I met Pranjali at a club called Huge, and I met Harsha at an event. And I started kind of working with Pranjali and Harsha on the startup. So originally we were doing an AI to build websites, and we were working a lot on that while still doing courses or like other school stuff. And then we kind of pivoted that into an AI for internal app. And then finally we pivoted that into ChatGPT with Hands. I mean, the reason we pivoted into ChatGPT with Hands is just because we found it far more exciting, as we were like, this is such a cool product. And all of these MCP servers were coming out. And we realized, well, everyone's building MCPs, but no one's actually using them. And so we thought, what if you had like one agent that just takes like the 5 or 10 most popular MCPs and just connects them? That was the original synthesis behind the idea. After that, we started going and building all of the tools in house and obviously getting the users and done. But we've come a long way since that. So the original version of Slashy from the Slash, we just locked ourselves in a room for like 48 hours and we were just like coding until we got something out. And so actually within like a day or 2 days of us starting, we had a product that was available for people to use. And so for the product features, that is actually ahead of growth, Anna's idea. And I think what's very like famous is the whiteboard behind it.
Well, yeah, I mean that's unique.
Yeah. And so new strategies. Yeah. Each time, like before we shoot a video, we'll just spend like 20 minutes thinking of like different stuff. But whenever we have someone come over to like the apartment as well, they always look at the whiteboard and they're like, oh, okay, so that's where you shoot the video.
I mean, that's gets the attention first. What's written on the whiteboard? First, let me read that. So I've also already read it on LinkedIn and also a lot of other places that you have been telling that Slashy is ChatGPT with hands. Now it's a very bold statement, to be honest, and as if ChatGPT did not have hands before. So why do you say that? And what is basically ChatGPT with hands? I mean, my hands.
Yeah. I think the core idea is that ChatGPT is very useful. I used to use ChatGPT all the time, but it doesn't connect to any of my other stuff. It doesn't connect to my email. It doesn't know my calendar. It can't read my Notion. And I was tired of just like copy pasting all the time or like manually having to tell it information. It also can't do stuff. If I want ChatGPT to send an email, I first have to get it to like draft something up and then have to manually go copy that and put it into my email and send it. And that's where the idea of ChatGPT with hands came from. Well, we'll let ChatGPT. It's a very simple chat interface. You can just type a message and it does something. But it had hands, so it can actually send an email. It can actually create a new event. It can go search the web and it can do all of that. And so because it knows you way better and it has all of the information about you. And this is supported with like all of the integrations we have. So we have like Gmail, Notion, Calendar, Slack. And we've seen people use this for like a bunch of stuff. Like I use it a lot to like help me filter out emails and like what emails are important for it.
Now, according to you, Dhruv, what is one of the primary feature of Slashy? I mean, your go-to feature or something which you use, or that anyone should go directly, on Slashy. So what do you think?
Mhm. Yeah, I would say honestly, preparing for meetings is one that's like a lifesaver. So we have like a lot of meetings every single day with like customers. And before each meeting, it can look through my email and my CRM and just tell me info about that. Like, oh, this customer you've already talked to that. On this customer emailed you with this info. We also go and we do research on the customer. So we can go get information from the LinkedIn. So we can see, okay, this customer they worked at this place, or like this is where they were educated, etc. And we can even go and get their email or like the phone number. And just having all of that information sent to me every day at 9 a.m., being like, here's everyone you're meeting with today. And here is the actual like useful information so you can like be prepared for the call has helped us quite a bit.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So basically, Dhruv, what I was looking into, right? Let's say a person who is not a techie kind of person, right? Where he looks at Slashy, right? So what he thinks is that it's an automation software, right? And we have previously had automation softwares like Anytime or Zapier, right? So how are we differentiating ourselves from them, or how are we actually better from these? How will you take that?
Yeah. I think Zapier and Anytime are amazing. Don't get me wrong, they were like really ahead of their time. I think they're really archaic now and they take really long to set up. Setting up a single like Zapier or Anytime automation takes almost an entire day and you have to like manually drag and drop and like figure everything out. And that's so much work, just like an entire day gone in just that. And that's what Sashi comes in, and it's way easier and faster to set up. Because it's like ChatGPT with hands. You just have to type in a prompt. So you just have to be like, hey, Sashi, can you set up an automation where you do this every time I get an email? And Sashi will go and set up the workflow for you. Another advantage is that just because like VPN or Anytime are more like workflows and they're more deterministic. This means if there's like a single like edge case or something like that, you can't really handle that. So it's not like a human. A human, if you throw an error at a human will figure out a way around it. But a Zapier or an Anytime, you will just fail immediately. And Sashi is like a human. So if you throw an error at Sashi, Sashi will figure out a way to kind of get around the error and fix it instead of just getting stuck.
Oh, that's amazing. Like literally, like you'll have to spend hours, if you get an error in Anytime. I think,
Yeah.
I think that's very messy. I mean, I've tried it. It's very messy. Gets it. Right. So yeah, I mean, I would say anytime you have to, install everything, you have to, figure out everything. But in Slashy, I think it does mostly all by itself, right? You just have to feed the information, right? You just have to tell it what to do, to be honest. Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's now target the elephant in the room. I mean, YC. So basically, why YC and what happened after YC? And please tell us, audience, like how did YC actually made a difference in Slash? And if it's already making a difference, I know, right? So how is it differentiating, basically?
Yeah. I think YC is great. This was my third time applying and finally getting in.
Oh, nice.
The advice that YC gives you, I think a lot of the advice is honestly just available online now, actually, with like DG's essays and YouTube videos and a bunch of other stuff. A lot of the actual advice is available online. I think what really helps is just having access to a partner like we have chatted as a partner and him really guide you through the process so you can always go to him and ask him questions. Another big part is the pressure. YC really kind of forces you to get so much done by demo day and really kind of up your numbers and up your kind of like product, which that pressure cooker is a really good environment for some duration of time to really kind of get ahead. And lastly, it's just the friends. I mean, like you have so many like-minded people, so many like extremely ambitious, amazing people that are right next to you and they stay right next to you as well. So you just immediately you get so many more friends and they just help the founder journey so much.
I mean, just for our audience, like, can you explain what is a demo day? Because I know what's a demo day, but I mean, if you can explain, I mean, it's a very interesting event of YC, I know.
Yeah. Demo day is an event at the end of YC where all of the startups will go and present for 30 seconds on a stage to investors. And I think that about 400, 500 investors across the world are in that room. And you go and present your startup, and any interested investors can go up to you and then invest money. So it's pretty high stakes. It helps you kind of close your next hunting ground. But it's also just like it marks the end of YC and it really forces you to get as much traction before that as possible.
I mean, that's like, I think everyone is how many startups generally like, pitch in demo day? I mean, whole batch, right?
Yeah, the entire batch.
And how many startups are in this batch? Look,
Let me that. Yeah, I can check that right now. So I think the S25 batch has 180 startups.
180 startups, nice. So, I mean, coming back to Slashy, I mean, we are seeing that every day. I mean, you guys have, I think, posting every day, right? On this, and every day we are seeing features. So I think, yeah, that's why you look tired. You've been coding all day and night. So basically, before everyone, let's say before everyone, Okay. What's the next thing coming for Slashy? And I mean something which you have not posted yet, and our audience gets to know it before that.
Sure, I can give you a sneak peek, but we're working on better slide generation capabilities. So Sashi can go and create presentations for you right now. So you don't have to like feed Google Slides.
So if you have something to share the screen, I mean, it will be really amazing.
You like after I can share some like snippet after the call maybe. But
I'll leave that over here. Yeah.
But we're also giving users now the ability that once Flashy creates a slide, you can go in and edit the text yourself. So before you would have to be like, can you please change the text to be like that? But now you can just go in and you can just change the text yourself. So really better.
So Dhruv, according to you, like what is your, go-to feature, or what is your, that this is definitely you should try. And this is my go-to feature, and this is what I go and simply try on Slashy. I mean, which you use personally. I mean, which you cannot live without. There must be something, there must be some feature of Slashy. I mean, out of all those features, which you already have it over there, what are your go-to feature?
Yeah, I think the core vision is that we're gonna basically build the go-to assistant for you to get work done. So now if you have to like manually create a Google Doc and try to report, you have to manually go and create a site. You have to manually go and do some research on a person or like fill out an Excel or anything. That is all useless time that you are doing when Sashi could be doing it. And I would say 5 years from now, every single knowledge worker is going to come to Sashi and they're going to use Sashi so much you kind of just get all of their work done. We're going to connect to all of your apps. So we're going to have all information to fully understand you as kind of an employee and like all of the data that you're dealing with. And we're going to be able to do anything that you're able to do. So if you can write an email, Sashi can also write an email. And Sashi is 10 times faster than you at sending and writing an email. So you're going to use Sashi for that.
So Dhruv, you have been, actually coding and trying to develop Slashy and trying to work your way around, entrepreneurship. So according to you, like which are the toughest challenges, or the most difficult things to overcome as a founder, or as someone who is trying to navigate their way to entrepreneurship in general? Like which is the toughest, or basically which you felt that yeah, this is really difficult for me also.
I think as YC says, just figuring out what people want is really difficult. And a simple example of that is like if you have a customer really being able to like talk to them deeply and understand like why are they using Sashi, which parts of Sashi do they like? And do they like it enough to kind of pay you? Do they like it enough to tell their friends about Sashi? And figuring out, okay, like can I find more people like that? Figuring out, okay, if I add this new feature, will the customer like it or not? And it's really difficult, like juggling existing customers with getting new customers and juggling kind of features that you have right now and like maintaining them with adding new features. All of that is really hard. I think the biggest skill you can have as a founder is just that like gut feeling of knowing what your users are feeling and like knowing what your users really want. That lets you ship way faster and make way better decisions.
So now, Dhruv, one of the primary questions which I was going to ask you. So how to find co-founders like you did? I mean, how should we find, the co-founders like yourself? I mean, what's the right fit? Because, people don't generally find good co-founders.
Yeah. If you're at college, I would say just kind of like go out, make a lot of friends. So just go to like a startup club, maybe like make friends. Don't look at it as finding a co-founder, just look at it as finding really good friends. Because that's a preliminary. Because I mean, I live together with Harsha and Sanjali. And so we work out of our apartment as well. So literally like spending like 24 hours together. Uh, and almost the entire week as well. So it's like you literally have to spend your entire like week, almost like the next like year just with them, locked in this. You really have to be very, very good friends with them. But if you want to find co-founders, I'd say just like go out and make a lot of friends and find the people that are really highly ambitious and extremely hardworking, and they will be extremely good co-founders.
Now, for someone, because you're already young, and I don't know how to ask you this, but for someone even younger than you, I
Yep.
mean, what will be your, I would say, the go-to advice, I mean, if you would have started, you would have started like this. I mean, what is your advice to the younger founders who are, starting out in AI, and probably starting out in, building different products for, solving different problems. So what will be your advice to them? So, because you've already made it some miles in entrepreneurship right now.
Mhm. I'd say just like build stuff that you're interested in, just do whatever you want to do. I don't think there's like a specific roadmap that there is to follow. I think you should just like, I built a lot of like side projects when I was younger and just like built a lot of stuff that I found really interesting. I think now, especially with like AI tools, it's easier than ever to build projects. So I'd really just encourage like, just build a lot of stuff, build whatever excites you. And over time, if you build something that excites you enough, there'll be something that excites other people as well. And if you can find something that excites you, excites other people, then you'll have a very successful startup.
So right now, like with so many features coming in, I mean, you guys are literally uploading stuff daily on LinkedIn. So I would say this is one of the most unique, I would say, startups which are actually, keeping up so much with the features. And I can see your eye that you're coding so much right now, and actually like involved in it so much. So that's why the features are coming in. But from an outsider's point of view, I mean, what's the next big thing coming on Slashy? What can we expect?
Yeah. I would say if you have a lot of meetings tomorrow, just go and get Slashy to find all of your meetings for tomorrow and prepare you for all of them. That's the one that's like, I think it's probably saved me like 10 hours a week. So I would go and use that.
With this, we are coming to the end of the discussion now with Dhruv. I mean, it was such an amazing discussion with Dhruv. I mean, like you are one of those founders which have such, different way of approaching entrepreneurship in general. And I myself learned so much from you. So it was like literally one of the very amazing discussions I had with you. And looking forward to
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Topic. I really appreciate it.